Me too.
Hey y'all, welcome to Black Love Elevated, the podcast, y'all. Look, tonight we're talking about love relationships and real life experiences. We're getting into the truth, the growth, and some of the uncomfortable conversations that actually build strong relationships. So, we promise y'all we're going to keep some special guests on the line, and I want to reintroduce back to the
Hello.
stage. We got Miss Trisha. Oh yeah, y'all already know she a little
Hello.
sassy. And I'm here with my sidekick, my partner in crime, Miss Ashley. So, Miss Ashley, please talk to everybody and tell them what Black Love Elevated is all about.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode. But we are a group basically here in Georgia where we have different events together. We hang out as married or folks that are in serious relationships. And the big thing about this particular group, Black Love Elevated, is we're just looking to grow within our relationships. So we have decided to start this wonderful podcast, which we do live on a weekly basis on Monday, Friday, whenever we feel like it, where we discuss certain things within marriages and single, all of it, and everything in between. So we are so happy to have you guys here with us. And let's go ahead and jump into some things, Ebony. But first of all, what y'all drinking on?
Oh,
Hello?
I'm like, I got me a little mango margarita I made upstairs in my little handy dandy little machine that makes it slushy. But yeah, it's already watered down, but it's not really watered down. It's hitting just right.
Honey, what you drinking on, Trish?
A little tequila and orange juice.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, y'all know what I got, Mr. Jack Daniels.
Come.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am. So, it was a question that I had for, I think it was you, Eb, in regards to our growth situation on the Black Love Elevated side. You want to talk about that a little bit since we talked about last week?
well, I mean, growth is everything. You know, we started, like you said, Ash, about a year ago, and we kind of got into it for the fun of it. And then we realized that a lot of people really had the same thoughts that we had. Some people had questions, and we wanted to tap into that love and be able to help elevate some Black love, because we want to keep these marriages around. It's cheaper to keep them. I'm just
Hello.
saying. But we have
Hello.
grown, and more importantly, we've grown within our relationship. We built relationship, our husbands, we do events together, we get out on date nights. So it's just been a beautiful thing. And especially when you can collab with someone with a great spirit and like-minded views and thoughts. So it's been a roller coaster and I'm loving every bit of that ride.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. I agree. All right. Well, I'm going to toss it back to you, Eb, so you can go ahead and get us started, honey, because we got to get into some things, child.
Well, let's talk about it. So we always like to get Facebook questions, right? All right. So, what are some of the topics y'all want to hear about? What are some of the things that's making you say, in your household? You may be going through some things and you really don't have somebody to talk to, or the person that you think you had to talk to is really not giving you the advice that you need. So, we tap into that. The question of the hour. And I actually took some time to drop this question out there. And I know we got about over 100 and something responses and comments to this question. I thought it was going to be so light, but everybody felt it was a good question. The question came to us, and the question is, can married people have single friends? If so, why or why not? Why does that change within a marriage? So I'll say again, can married people have single friends?
Hmm.
Ash,
Oh,
that's
you
the
going to throw it to
topic.
me.
Yeah,
You
no,
gonna
no,
throw-
no. I ain't even throwing it to you. That's the
Thank God.
topic. I'm gonna throw it at you to throw the Trish. Yeah, we're gonna put her
Woo.
on the spot. Yeah, because we didn't even know what the topics was and what we was talking about today. So let's talk to Miss Trisha.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Trish, on from your perspective, what do you think? Let's kind of get the door open here.
So for me, I feel like with any friendship, any relationship, it is very important to be selective. So I'm not saying have any and every old kind of single friend, whether I am in a marriage or in a serious relationship. I'm going to be very selective of who I keep around me, right? So if it's somebody that I see that's doing some unnecessary stuff in their own relationship, because I feel like as a friend, I'm someone who's very easy to open up to, right? So they're telling me all their business ahead of time, way before I've ever introduced them into my significant other,
Mhm.
right? Um, that's not to say that you can't have someone that's really close to you and be really jealous of you at the same time, and you've had a long lasting relationship with that person. So I feel like it's definitely about figuring out whether or not that is a safe space. And if it's not a safe space, that is not someone that you introduce into your relationship, nor do you introduce them into what goes on in your relationship in conversation. But there are individuals who will take it too far. Now, we can say that we can't have single friends, and that makes full relationship because that full uh, it makes sense because the fact that okay, this is what we've gone into this, we understand that sometimes single people don't have the best insight to be able to share anything with us. They've never been through what we've been through, so it's easier for them to walk away. But do we do that with family?
Hmm. That's a great.
Because that's not just single friends, that's also family members. I've had people to go that far to say, hey, I don't feel like we should hang out with single people, and then that's agreed upon, and then the individual takes it a step further and they're like, well, I don't feel like you should deal with family members even
Oh,
who aren't in a marriage, because they can't give you the right type of advice either because they've never been there or they're not there now. And that's where I feel like it's taking it a little too far.
yeah, for sure. And to kind of set the scene here, that's a good perspective, Trish. But to set the scene here, and I think reading through the comments, Eb, you probably seen the same thing. And Trish, I don't know if you got a chance to see them just yet. But one thing I want to make clear: this conversation is not necessarily about just sex. We're talking male or female, because I've seen a lot of people say same sex, same sex. But how do you feel if that friend is of a different sex? Like, are you okay with that? Right? Because yeah, of course you gonna say my guy can go hang out with his buddies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or she can go be whatever, whatever. But we're talking on both sides of the spectrum, not just a woman with a woman or man with the man. We're talking mixing it up. All right. So just let's be
Mhm.
clear on that one. Ed, what you think?
Well, no, I agree with you. So while we are bringing this and kind of kicking this off, we see some of the comments out there. Like I said, I went online and I dropped it. I wanted to get the insight from some of these other people in marriages or simply in relationships and get their views on how do you feel about being married or even in a solid relationship and your partner hanging out with single people, and I can give my own perspective, but I think it's time that we drop one of those comments. Let's see what they talking about, Ash.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, our first comment here, let's take a look. All right. So, the first comment says, absolutely. You don't change your friendship just because you are married. Good people are very hard to come by. Look at a person's character, not their marital status.
Well, you know what, Ash, I kind of agree with that because at the end of the day, let me ask you this. Before you got married, you had a life. If you had friends prior to, so just because I got married, does that mean I have to change the company that I keep? Because I think in my opinion, it actually goes deeper than that. It's not about the single friend, it's about the boundaries and the respect slash disrespect that may be brought to the table.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yep, I actually agree with that, and I think for me, and from that perspective, I would say, we need to kind of figure out like what is a concrete way for a friend to show up in a respectful manner, right, within your relationship as well, in your marriage. What does that look like, Trish? What would you think, or what would you say would be a respectful manner for folks in that way?
So even in just taking that comment, I fully understand. Yes, we completely came in as two different people. We had our own separate lives, but it's also a covenant that we're taking that's way more important than any and all things if we've said that this is what we're going into for the rest of our lives. Um, I feel like it's important to always reevaluate self and reevaluate your priorities.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean that you have to stop being friends, but it does mean that you have to evaluate whether or not your significant other is fully okay with that situation. Like, to say that I have a good male friend, because I have the way that I process and I'm very logical. I've had a lot of male friends that there was nothing remotely sexual within that aspect, right? But if I am keeping these people from my partner, then that is a form of, in my own opinion, cheating. So if it's a relationship that we can all still be able to coexist and commingle,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's perfectly okay. But that should be the same way if my significant other has female friends. If these female friends have to exist and you can only speak to them when you're not at home, that's not a female friend.
No. And
That
guess
that's
what?
that's that's somebody that you're cheating with. That's someone that you're having an emotional relationship with, if nothing
Mhm.
else. There is a huge difference between a healthy,
Hmm.
open relationship with someone else of the opposite sex, because I have male friends that don't even swing in my direction. Do I have to get rid of all of them because they're single? Like, or is that something that I am open with my partner about? They're okay with me hanging out with these individuals and we all hang out in the same situation. Like, I feel like there's a very huge difference and there's a thin line in respect in all of that that has to be full focus, full priority.
You were gonna say something, Eb. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of what I was going to say is I mean, I get that because if you feel like you have to hide that friend, then what's really going on? Something else is there because at the end of the day, I have several single friends that I hang out with. But the one common denominator between everything, there's no secrets between my husband and they respect my marriage.
Mhm.
So I think the question is a little bit different as to how they need to move or how this person moves. Because if you're in a relationship and they're single, you're not. But let's talk about the fact where if you're going out and now they trying to find them a man or a woman, and the people that they're bringing around, they're trying to introduce their friends on you. See, now you don't respect my marriage. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
now it's for me to kind of look at not just the friendship different. I'm looking at you differently, like, because why would you want to disrespect me? If you know I'm bringing this to the table, then respect that boundary. Whereas if you want to pick you up somebody, that's cool, but don't push that off on me. So I have several single friends and they are very respectful of my marriage, which makes it work. And to what you were saying, Trish, there's no secrets. My
Mhm.
husband can be there, it's that
Mhm.
kind of open communication and relationship within the single friends that I have in my life. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts on it, Ash?
Oh man, I actually I agree with both of you guys for sure. I think we were kind of aligned with the thoughts as we were thinking this through separately. I believe that having friends in a secret way is definitely crossing the disrespect line. It's definitely breaking all the boundaries and rules to me within a relationship, because honestly, relationships are built on trust. And if I can't trust you to simply
Mhm.
disclose, right, your friendship status with someone, how are you not protecting my feelings and thoughts in regards to us as a couple and our bond? And to me, just taking it one step further, when you do things like that, it feels like you are putting me on the back burner and you're putting that friend before our marriage, which is an absolute no-no, which to me is why Trish said what she said, and then Eb, you said what you said as well. So I think that disclosure piece, the honesty, the truthfulness is a huge point within marriage and relationships. And I feel like sometimes that's where people miss, because they have a perception of how their spouse is going to take that relationship. But you're not giving me the opportunity to say yes or no to the situation. And that alone is not a good way to handle your relationship. That's selfishness. That's actually outside the lines of marriage and also generally relationships.
That's why I say I prefer a hard lie. I mean, a hard truth to a easy lie. I prefer anyone that I am talking to give me the truth and allow me. Lying takes away my choices. Lying, I
Mhm.
may choose to still deal with you. I may choose not to. I may choose to continue with the relationship. I may not, but you should be able to be man or woman enough in any situation that you're in to give that person the chance to say, yes, this is what I want, or no, this is not what I want.
Hmm.
Well, let's define a few things. So, if we're taking it a step deeper so that everybody can understand exactly what we're saying here, when I think about single friends, right? And the respect lines. A respectful single friend doesn't constantly encourage behavior that violates that couple's boundaries. Okay, so they understand where they lie. They're not saying, "Girl, Vince ain't got to know," or they ain't purposely trying to cause conflict between the spouses. You know what I'm saying? Making things about a secret, or "Girl, let's just do this. You ain't
Hmm.
got to say that." Those are the type of single friends you got to watch because they have a different motive in mind. You understand what I'm saying? So I want everybody to be careful and pick up the writing that's on the wall and read the room when you're saying you have these single friends. What are they doing? What are their behaviors like? See, because it's not about the single friend, it's just definitely about the boundaries that you set. And I see Josh made that comment as well. You got to set boundaries and you have to have that communication and be crystal clear with what you're wanting or not wanting. Because when you don't and someone acts, it's going to cause you to react. And then you're looking crazy when you go home and something is seen and said, causing conflict in your house. Am I making any sense?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that too, Eb. And I think that that is that just kind of goes back to the point that we've been making this entire time. Boundaries matter, and if you are having friends that are disrespecting your marriage, that is not a true friend, right? And if you fall within the lines of that person, you need to reevaluate yourself in your marriage or your relationship as well. Are you actually ready for that? Do you understand what it takes to be in this setting? And again, to protect, I always say this, but to protect your spouse in a sense where they feel comfortable because they matter within the relationship. And I think honestly, that's where we, whether it's man or woman, what we forget, because a lot of times, again, we leave with a sense of selfishness in our relationships. And we forget when you're making these commitments that you are saying, hey, look, I am here to make these changes for us to work together. It's not just about
Mhm.
me and my thoughts and how I feel in the relationship. It's about us working it out together. So I definitely agree with y'all. I definitely think that, yeah, we got to learn how to scrap them friends that ain't doing us no good.
Absolutely. Because what about those friends? And this is some of the comments that came down the pipeline. The friends that's competing with your marriage. See, because they used to hanging out with you all the time, they used to talking to you all the time, or they may pull up at your house, but now things is a little bit different. Like, it's almost like, so the comment that came to me was, sometimes I feel like my friend is competing with my marriage. Like, girl, you ain't spending time, or girl, this thing. Like, wait a minute. What do we stand there?
Mm. Trish, I'm going to let you go ahead with that one.
You don't want to do that because I don't do clean bitches. I'm sorry. It's not after dark yet for me to
It's all
indulge.
right.
Okay, but I don't do clingy females like that. I've always been able to enjoy relationships that allow me my freedom to be able to be understanding that I have a busy schedule. But that doesn't mean that I don't love you. Like I'll go back and forth about this all the time.
Right.
Me and Ashley have that same type of relationship. We cannot talk to each other for a period of time and it'll be perfectly fine because we know that we've been going through this, we've been going through that, and we will have a full blown conversation about everything that has happened within how long, no matter how long it has been, in like 30 minutes. All right, we're caught up. I love you. I miss you so much. When are we going to see each other again? And I can't, that's not a relationship that I would ever entertain. So it's very hard for me to give an answer. That wouldn't be my friend. Like that just wouldn't be my friend. What do you mean? Do you have the things that I
Yes.
need? You don't have the things that I he does. We're over here chilling. I'll see you when I see you, nigga. Bye. Like
We
Now
gotta
look, Shannon Nicole. Now Ash, Shannon was my girlfriend, my sister that I wanted to bring on the platform. She's here. She says people who do that have nothing to lose. I would love to hear. I wish I can bring her on this platform right now because I know she got a whole mouthful. Shannon, keep talking to us. People who do that have nothing to lose. What do you mean by that? Give us some more with that because I want to kind of flip this around just a little bit. We talking about these single friends, right? But
Mhm.
what about people that or marriages that blame the single friends? What about them? Oh, your little friends got you acting crazy, or but you made these vows. Hold on. Again, we have a life, and your job is not to lock me down. My job, our job is to respect one another and be able to have the freedom respectfully to still live a life. You know, when you get married, you're not controlled, you're not just bound. Now I gotta put me on a long robe, something around my head and just be domesticated. I don't think that that's the case. But I think that it kind of goes both ways where sometimes relationships will blame the single person and then the single person is blaming a relationship. So where's the middle and how do you find the right friend?
Now,
I
if you got somebody blaming the friend, then you got the wrong person because they don't know you. I can't speak for the whole world. I can speak for the three women on this platform
Mhm.
currently. I sent Ashley something earlier this week because if he ever thinks that it is my single friends, he don't know me. I'm probably the worst of them. Like there's nothing that anyone can make me do or sway me. So if you're assuming that I'm being swayed by somebody else, that's a manipulation factor, and that's something that you have to key in on your own relationship because you can't blame everything on a single friend. My mind is entirely too stubborn. Nobody can talk me into staying with you or leaving you or doing anything that's going to make you feel like it's a single friend's fault. No, what issues we have are the issues that I just told you about. We ain't gonna
Well,
deflect. Or if what issues you have with me, you have with me. It's not with my friends. We're not gonna deflect. Let's talk about what the issue is at hand and move forward.
yeah,
yeah, and I
because I'm sorry, Ash, go ahead.
yeah, so what I was gonna say, just to kind of jump in here, I think when we're talking about a person, which like the spouse is trying to blame the friend, and my thought process is that that's just a person who doesn't know how to set boundaries, right? And say specific things about this relationship or things that are happening within their relationship or marriage that they don't necessarily agree with. So the easiest thing to do is walk between those lines of control and boundaries because they don't understand the difference, right? So they'll say, hey, you know what? This issue is with your friend. It's not necessarily us. It's not the friend. It's because you clearly don't like something that's happening. You don't know how to communicate that, right? So now we're
Mhm.
teetering along those lines of um do I really need to communicate this in a better way, or am I going to tell her that it's just a friend fault? So I think that that also just goes back to, again, just setting them boundaries.
Well, I agree with you 1,000%. I was trying to read what Kishana was saying. She had
Shauna,
two comments up there. Kishana, it
can you
says
see it?
go. It was one right before it though, but this one says, but talk to your person about your problems. Too much info may create issues with you and the person you're telling it to, thinking that they know something, but you have no one to blame but you because you opened your mouth.
Hmm.
That could be true too. Are you, even though this is your friend, some things should be sacred. You shouldn't be disclosing all of your information or what's happening, and then you want to blame somebody for having an opinion. Just like Shannon just came back and said, pillow talk will destroy friendships as well. Oh,
That's a
that is a heavy one.
that's
That is
a
a heavy
that's
one. I want to talk about that one. I want to talk about that one. While we talking about this one, Ash, can we do something different on the impromptu? I don't know if this is going to work. And you can say nah, but I want to see. I would like to bring someone from the audience and see if we can bring them on the platform and just kind of chat with us. We talking
oh
about this. What you think?
uh yeah, I mean we
I
can
don't know if it can work,
no
but
no
I'm
it,
looking
it
at all of these
can
comments drop behind the scenes, and I'm like, okay, well,
It
we want to hear
can.
what you got to say.
I need a private message to whoever you're talking about.
Okay,
Hold on.
it's coming your way.
Hold on one second.
But
Ye-
please go back to that question about pillow talk, Trish. We got to talk about that. See, because that's a lot of things that will plant something in your spouse's head and they will formulate an opinion. Or if you talking too much, and now when you go to hang out with this person, they looking at you sideways because you done gave too much. I mean, that pillow
I'm
talk.
guilty. I am guilty. I am so
Oh,
guilty. Cause I'm when I'm with somebody, I'm with them. And like I love to be open and share and tell them like everything because that's what I feel like I want in return. Like just a level of open communication. Um
Hmm.
so there's been plenty of times where I've told a partner all my little friend's business. And he's
oh,
sitting up here like, why does your little friend again? Cause she's fun. But she's fun.
oh my goodness. But then,
Mm-mm.
dang, it's such a flip side to
Or then,
that.
or if there's something that has upset me or angered me about a friend, it's the same way as well. Because I'm very closed mouth when it comes to my family. The same way that my family will not just forgive somebody once they don't like them, they don't like them. It's your partner can be the same way. Once you've given them information that makes them feel like this person may be jealous of my girl or this person may not have the best intentions for my man. It's hard for you to go back to liking these people again, but they're not gonna stop dealing with them. These been their friends forever.
Yeah.
Or will
I think
they?
yeah, I think the pillow talk. Yeah, look at that. What I just sent you. But the pillow talk situation for me, um, yeah, to a certain extent. I think that my spouse does not tell me every single thing. There's just some things that I keep um away because he don't need to know everything. He doesn't need to know everything. I'll be honest. Do we have pillow talk? Hell fucking yeah. Absolutely. But I don't think that he knows everything. I just not everything, because there have been some conversations that I don't think, you know how you have certain topics where you like, this person just would not like that disclosed to someone, and you're like, let me just stay far away
Mm-hmm.
from that. I'm gonna keep that close here. I
Mm-hmm.
will do that. And honest to God, there are some things that folks have told me that I have not disclosed to my husband at all. Honestly, plenty of
And
things.
and that's facts because you can't really give them everything. But on the flip side of things, what if your spouse don't really like? What if your spouse don't like your friend? Now, this your friend. This your ace bone coon. Y'all been ride or dying forever. What's up, Mo? Oh my God, I'm so glad you came to join me. She done dropped a comment. I'm going to see that in just a second. But what if your spouse don't like your friend? How that work?
Mm. I think it depends on how deep the friendship is, because I do trust, hear me out, right? I trust my husband's point of view when it comes to my friendships, because sometimes he sees stuff that I'm not able to see, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, on my side of the world too, if I'm having a conversation with my husband, I'm like, look, he looking at you kind of sideways, and I've done that a lot. I'm like, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. So I am going to listen to my husband more or less than anything. I know sometimes you have a separate relationship with a person, and
Mm-hmm.
not everyone is privy to, but sometimes your spouse can know you very well, and people can see things that you don't really get a chance to see, and they call it out. So on that side of things, I listen to my spouse for sure.
Now, Miss Simone Walker, oh, you sent it back. You took it away.
Oh, okay, gotcha. She got a couple comments. Hold on one second.
Oh, I saw that one before. I was trying to read it. You know, my eyes be
I know,
playing
right?
tricks. You know what I'm saying? Look, she said there's several things about your friend that your spouse should never know. That's between you and your friend. Just like
Well,
y'all
yeah.
was saying, everything is not for that. I mean, and it's not that you're trying to be deceitful or you're trying to hide things from your spouse. It's not. But you know what, Ash, based off what you said, I really feel that 1,000%. You want to know why? Because sometimes you got these friends, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. That's really not your friend. The
Mhm.
sidebar, They looking at you. They come to your house. They looking around. They playing like they're your friend. But then, because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, we also got these situations. These are things that came to the inbox. Please don't judge me. There are some of these friends that they say are your friend, they're your best friend, and then they turn out to start sleeping with your man or sleeping with your woman. You understand what I'm saying? So how does that flip now? This is your best of best friends. I know everybody done had a situation, or maybe not everybody, but I've received a lot of comments on this, Ash, where you thought this was your ace bone cool. And then now you find out that they've been having a whole nother relationship with your damn spouse.
Oh my God. Seeing
I
as
want
I
to talk
never,
about it.
I've never dealt with that piece before, but just a quick point here. Josh said, just like Ash Kim's like Charlie, absolutely is 100% correct. Beat the hell out of that man right there that he's talking about. That was his friend, and I told him he wasn't his fucking friend. So yeah, so he's right, very much so. But yeah, when it comes to a spouse, your spouse and your friend having something on the back end, to me, of course, that definitely isn't a true friend whatsoever, in any form of fashion. And I think that's a very, very sticky line. But there are situations like that where people are currently dealing with it and they probably don't even know. And to me, I'm just going to be flat out real. Your spouse ain't shit, and neither is your friend. All right. You need to go find a Lord and let them motherfuckers go. And that's how I feel about it. And I'm standing on that.
Well, Ash, we had some other comments out there that came from the post that we made. What's some of the things that they are saying? Because we asked the questions and we had a lot of different comments. Can we
Yeah, let's
see
take a
those?
look. Let's take a look at number two. Perception is often seen as reality. You can't do the same things your single friends do. I wouldn't go to dinner alone or hang out with one on one with a male friend. You have to have healthy boundaries.
Mm.
Um,
I feel like we kind of addressed that.
I do too. I feel like we did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next one. I have a single friend and we hang out. My single friend knows I'm married and we move accordingly. What, but we never really talked about that. What does that mean when we say we move accordingly? Like when you say that or when y'all hear that, what does that make you think of within your relationships? What does it look like when your spouse is moving accordingly? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. We move
Uh,
accordingly.
yeah. Yeah. Are you saying you move? Is she saying we um respect what the marriage is? So maybe they're not going to the club, and maybe they're going to do brunches, or she ain't hollering at motherfuckers. It's a lot of fucking shit that goes into that. So like, what does that mean to y'all? Like, what would it look like? Or let's reframe the question. What would it look like to have a single and married friend hanging out together? Or it could be of opposite sex, of the same sex. What would be some boundaries that you would have for your friendships? Would it be, hey, listen, bitch, if we going out, ain't no niggas at our table? Would it be, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm not the wingman type of thing. What would it be for y'all?
Well, for me, Ash, I think it's more or less like I have a single friend, right? And they
Mhm.
already know what it is. So they're not even gonna bring that to me. If anything, they're gonna be like, oh no, my sis is good, but they're gonna go for theirs. You know what I'm saying? So I think move accordingly. That one is really tough because that's like a wide scope. What do you mean by move accordingly? We move accordingly. So does that mean, like you said, no guys at the table? Nah. You could bring them over and I'm going to say, "Hey, how you doing? Yes, my girl is looking for this and I'm going to advocate for you." It's not about me. Oh, I am happily married. I'm going to put my stake in the ground, and either they're gonna respect it or we'll have a different kind of conversation because I lay down the line that I won't be disrespected. But I think that it's okay because my spouse trusts me, right? So I don't think I would worry about that. I don't know. Trish said she wanted to kind of address that. What are your thoughts on that? Move accordingly.
So, accordingly to me, I feel like the boundaries are the boundaries. The boundaries of your relationship, however you and your significant other have put those in place, should be the same no matter whether they single or they're married. Because everything married ain't great. Everything married ain't on the same level of marriage as your marriage. Everything married isn't not cheating. Some people have that open boundary to where they can do whatever they want to do. So we can't just specifically say that we have to have someone married as a friend and assume that that means that they have a higher morality. Because you could be with a single friend, and this single friend has more morals than the married friend do, because the married friend has an open relationship.
You're right. That's a flip side of
True.
it. And Miss Hill says, what if your spouse don't like your friend and the friend is the opposite sex? So we talked about whether your spouse won't like your friend or, you know, but the opposite sex, that makes it a little bit different. Because you want your spouse to feel comfortable. Y'all have to be able to have an understanding. Like, I don't see myself having an opposite sex friend that my husband doesn't like and I just disregard it. I think it's really about the open communication at that point and really asking questions, because maybe you can get to the root cause of it. Why don't you like this person? What has this person done? Because again, like you said, Ash, you want to respect your husband. Maybe he sees something, he's seen something, he heard something. Like, can we talk about it? It shouldn't just be a closed door versus open for a conversation and discussion.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I definitely do. But there's two sides to that for me. I don't do the opposite sex thing. Especially new friends. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to talk about this too, right? Because I think that's a big thing too that we really haven't hit on is the new friend versus like the old friend. For me,
Mm.
let's just say with me, Trish and Josh, for a situation we've known each other forever, our whole life. She always gonna be there, right? And if Trish was at a single point in her life, she still would be there. That's me and Josh's friend. It's not a me or him type of thing. This is both of us, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that to me is perfectly fine. You know, she come and go in my house as she pleases, right? Now, when it comes to someone that's new,
Mm.
that one's a little bit more difficult. Not to say that it's not a possible thing. If we have developed and we all have this relationship, we have a relationship together, I think that it's possible. I don't think that everyone is a bad person. Like my husband used to work with a young lady before. I think she was married, but I never really met her husband. But, you know, they were friends from work, right? And she introduced herself. She was like, hey, you know, they talked, blah, blah, blah. She was a very kind, respectful person. So on the marriage end, it's about how she also showed up and respected our marriage by introducing herself, making me feel comfortable as his wife. And she's like, it ain't none of that. Nah, we just cool. We work together and that's just what it is. And she was always very respectful about it. So to me, it just teeters along those lines. And that also is based off of my spouse as well and my husband saying that, you know, that's my wife. I'm going to put her first. She need to know who you are, and that's just what it is. What you think, Eb?
Well, like you said, new friends versus old friends. So I want the audience to kind of look at that question. How do you feel about old friends versus new friends? Even though things can spin off a different way, but I just got a question that came in, and it says, "Can your husband or wife have a single best friend, and what does that look like? Can they text every day? Can they go to dinner alone? Can they take trips together? Can they discuss problems in your marriage? How far is too far?"
Hell no, none of that. No. All of
But
it too
but
far.
friends,
Yeah, but
hey,
friends
hold
I
don't
don't
on,
do
give a
that.
fuck.
Ash.
Why
Like,
you
no,
going
Hold
there,
no,
Eb?
on.
I'm not
nobody
gonna
don't
lie.
do
You
that.
Friends,
fucking crazy. I don't give
we
a fuck.
friends, we talk. You just
You
said
hear what I
Trisha
just
can
said?
come in your house and come
No,
as she
no.
please.
She
She
sure
is
tuck
both of
him.
y'all friends. So why isn't it okay? And I'm
Why?
just doing the flip side that they don't go to dinner alone. Why they can't text? We're friends. You text her.
Why now texting? I don't mind her motherfucking texting him, but I don't. I think it goes far. Why the fuck would I send her on vacation with my goddamn husband?
Why would I go on fucking
What?
vacation with Joshua?
She
Tell
ain't
me
gonna
that.
want to go. She
Give
gonna
me a
be like,
reason.
you mean me, Ashley? Like
Without me,
what? Right.
Yeah.
did somebody cut
So
So
her foot off like Kunta Kinte? Why are we here? Why are we
I'm gonna
here?
stop playing the middle person and I'm gonna give you my real. Listen, at the end of the day, yes, I have friends. At the end of the day, yes, we have friends that are together, opposite sex and all of that. But there's certain thing called putting your the line in the sand. My husband ain't texting these single friends every day. Uh-oh, here he done popped up. Okay. My husband is not going to sidebar lunches with this single friend every day. If we friends, then we friending together. Okay. So what does Vincent say? He says, times have changed. Back in the day, for the man, if you're married, you really don't have no friends. Oh, but your wife and your homeboys. That's what I grew up learning. But nowadays, everybody got friends. Yeah, it's still with boundaries. It's still
No.
with certain things we're going to do and not do. But again, I talk about this a lot, ladies. Communication is key. You have to understand what makes your spouse feel a way, what triggers them, and you have to be able to tap into that, because some people feel like Miss Simpson ain't no new friends, childhood friends, and y'all ain't doing none of that. So I get it. Everybody has different points and views, but it's really about the communication. Every household is different. Some people have friends coming in doing other things and things like that. We've talked about all of these different type of relationships, but at the end of the day, my advice to anybody listening would be, I believe it's okay to have single friends as long as you communicate. Don't assume. Assuming will make an ass out of you and them. Please do not assume. Please have a conversation, be crystal clear, and set those boundaries. And when they are broken, address them. Don't ignore them, because they can lead to other things. So be open and allow your spouse to have that open communication where they can say what they really feel and y'all can communicate effectively. I think that that's the recipe for a strong relationship. That way you don't feel like you got to hide a conversation from your spouse. Oh, I don't want to say this. No, I feel open saying anything to my spouse and he's not going to judge me, versus respecting the fact that I brought it to him.
So, with that being said, Eb, I got a rebuttal here. What if the spouse is not open to the conversation, or even what if you bring it to them like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this situation, right? So let's just say you have a friend. I don't really like that friend. I prefer for you. That is a boundary for me. This person is not going to be in my life. What they do, I don't agree with. And your spouse comes back and says, I don't give a damn. What you want me to do about it? I'm going to continue forward with my friendship. What do you do then? Trisha, you have something to say? You have
The
something to
gloves come
say?
off. The gloves come off. The same way if it's a situation where I don't know that you're messing around with somebody else and you are messing around with somebody else. Either I'm gone or now we have an open relationship that you don't know about. So if you have these friends that you don't care whether or not, especially if it's of the other sex. Now I can't say that I would go this hard if it was a friend of the same sex. I'm just being real, open, honest. Okay, you may not like the person. I may not like the people that you deal with because somebody may be doing things that are completely outside of our relationship. I can't hold that you so far accountable that I'm just gonna completely disrespect you. But if you are disrespecting me with a female friend of the opposite sex, and you're not expecting to get the same result on my end, I don't have to. Hey, head of household, if this is how we moving, this is how we both moving now. Hi.
Well,
What you think, Eb?
I get it. I mean, I get it.
I can't
It's a
say I'd be that
touchy.
way in a marriage. In a marriage, it'd probably be something different. I'm in a committed relationship. In a committed relationship without a ring, we
Well, if
move
my
how you move.
spouse kind of is just 10 toes deep on, I'm not feeling this person, we've had the conversation as to what makes them feel this way, then at the end of the day,
Mm-mm.
me,
You taking the easy way, Ebony. We not talking about your spouse. We talking about you. Your spouse
You.
said no. He don't
They not.
care
Yeah.
whether or not you're okay with this relationship. He is not going to discontinue it. How do you move off that?
yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's going to
That's
be a
gonna be a
problem.
motherfucking problem. Let's
That's gonna
gloves
be a
off,
problem.
please. Come on,
Because
Mm-mm.
if
drop them.
now I went
Mm-mm.
to the communication, I done told you how I felt, I done
You
gave
said
you
it all
why
first,
I feel
huh?
this way. Yeah, now see, ladies, if it doesn't work and you cannot work it out with somebody that you trust and you done tried therapy and everything else, I done told y'all about that. then in situations where he gonna put his foot down and tell me what he ain't gonna do, and you coming home to me, yeah, that may lead to us going to divorce court. Unfortunately, that's how it is in my household. That's how I feel, because he's disregarding my feelings. He's disregarding what's making me feel this way. And if that person is more important than I got a problem with that. So you got to know where you stand. And I've made it perfectly clear I must be the number one in my household, in my marriage, because I would extend that same thing to my spouse.
Same
If
agree.
I had this friend and this is my ride or die, this is my ride or die. Like, what do you mean you don't like this person? He's telling me absolutely the fuck not. And this is how he feels. Am I going to just leave my husband and disregard how he feels? No. Is it going to hurt me? Am I going to try my best to mend this, to make this work? I would absolutely try. I would not just give up. But if he is adamant, then this is the end, friend. I don't know.
You stupid. Read the next comment. Girl, I ain't got to look a glass on. Keep
All
reading.
right. Okay, Miss Hill says, what if the spouse doesn't like the friend of the opposite sex because when they are around, ooh, they are too touchy, and they find out and they find out that the person liked you. Oh, wait a minute. The person liked you. Hold on, let me drop this down because I gotta finish this. The person liked you, but it didn't go anywhere because they didn't want it to. And the friendship is over 20 years. Hold it.
Oh, man. Let's
Boundaries.
get into some things.
Friend, hold on. I've had a friend in the past like this. Every time you turn around, they all up in your man face. They doing little touches like that. Like, darling, do you have a touching problem? Like, see, you breaking a lot of boundaries, and now you gonna take me. Let me calm down for a second. Let me calm down for a second. Trish, what do you think about that comment? What do you think about that?
I'm gonna take it right back to me and Ash, and I hate to do this. Cuzzo is cuzzo. Like, bro is bro. What do I need to touch him for? A hug, yes.
No, that's
A
not.
shoulder.
Look,
Like,
I get that.
why?
Let's take it
Why
away
he's?
from Josh. You too safe there. You too safe there. Give me
I'm,
another. I know. Give me another friendship. Give me another relationship, and this is the situation.
I'm gonna put it to you 100%. I'm gonna be honest with you. I stay away. Like, I'm very much so hands off. Like, yeah, we can be friends, but I set very clear boundaries between me and a friend's significant other, because that's my respect level that I want to receive in return. So, friendly touching, why? Why are you touching? Why are we doing this? We're
But you
not
know
friends
what?
anymore.
As women and even men, you feel the vibes. Let me tell you something. When something is genuine, you know when it's genuine. When you get that gut feeling, listen to me. When you get that gut feeling and you like, yo, something ain't right. You kind of see motherfucker laughing too much. Like, he ain't that funny.
Yes.
Why are you laughing so hard
No,
at
I
these
had
jokes? Like,
one.
you
I
doing
had
so
one.
much there, and you start feeling like, hold on, you getting a little bit too, like, you feel it.
I
Trust your
had
gut.
one. I had one. We went to church together.
Mm.
We went to whole church together. I was married to my significant other, but she was not married at that point in time. We were cool as a whole group. Was over at my own house, ma'am, getting close, touchy touchy, laying on my fiance at the time, while I'm sitting up there cooking them a meal. When I tell you she ain't never come back in my house again, we didn't speak at church ever again. You have to be able to be very observant, and not just observant but move. There's so many times where we don't trust, like you said, our gut feeling, that we decide to let things continue on. I'm gonna cut off disrespect at its neck, because we're not going to get to that point. If we get to that point, I know that I can go to jail. I'm allergic to prison.
Yeah, and a lot of times you people have these big circles. I believe sometimes you got to shrink that because a marriage is sacred, right? You don't want to have any and everybody around you, that energy. It got to be a select few. So sometimes you're just trying to be too friendly, too open. You still have to protect your marriage. You have to protect the energy. You have to protect the vibes that's surrounding your relationship. You have to do that too. You know what I'm saying? And if you just that blinded or naive, then that's when cheating happens. That's when your best friend that had a baby by your husband, but you thought it was the friend's You thought it was the friend had another boyfriend or something like that. I just watched Remy Ma's movie. Don't trust the girl upstairs. Turned out the whole husband done had a relationship with her sister. You know what I'm saying? He thinking that she thinking this baby is someone else's. Turned out it's theirs, and she sent the husband over there to help her. And things like this happen. So just be mindful. Like, come on, everybody don't need to be around your spouse. And if we're gonna be friends, let's be friends out there together. But don't get crazy with it. I think you just got to shrink that down a little bit. But Ash, you've been real quiet.
Yeah, because this is a very interesting question, or just a comment. What if the spouse doesn't like the friend of the opposite sex? Because when they're around, they're touchy. First of all, ain't nobody touching my husband. That's just what it is. They're not. I've never experienced that before that first piece. So to me, that I feel like with that situation, maybe the spouse is using that excuse of them knowing each other and it doesn't mean
Mm.
anything, and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. And when I see that, that would put, as Kashana said, my guard completely up, and that friendship would probably be over very quickly, or I would be gone, because clearly y'all either got something going on, some feelings that ain't been met, whatever the case may be. But I ain't gonna be in the middle of somebody relationship. I'm not gonna be a third wheel in the middle of it. So it's literally, I would be at the point where it's choosing between me or that person or that friend when it came down to it, because I'm gonna choose me. And if you don't choose correctly, that's just what it is. I mean, seriously. So hell no, ain't no bitch putting her hands on my husband, friendship or not. That shit would turn me left real quick. Like, what the fuck? I don't care. I don't care. That is so disrespectful to me. That is
Yeah.
absolutely one of the most disrespectful things that you can do. I've known of, and I said I was going to bring this up. I've known of other women that my husband still talk to today that have previously expressed their like for him. But the reason why I know this is because he was very upfront and honest with me with those situations. And do they still talk? Yeah. And also, that person has been very, very respectful over the years that I have been in this relationship. So there isn't any hard feelings towards her or anything like that. But I'd be damned if a bitch touched my husband. That has never happened, or came at me disrespectful since. So I think that it's about your spouse really opening up and being honest about the entire situation and where him and his friends stand as well.
Yeah, because Miss Simone said, yeah, I come across situations like that. Let's escort him right up out of here and away from us. People had these friends before, but do you see the writing on the wall? Like, she said she done had to tell friends he is not that funny. And if you touch him again, we're gonna have a problem. So don't ignore those signs. When you get all that touchy-feely stuff, when you get people breaking those boundaries all up in his face, extra laughing extra hard at the corniest damn joke that he said, and you looking at him like, babe, that wasn't that funny. But this person over here, I need you to read the room. I need
Mm-hmm.
you to, you know what I'm saying, trust your gut and don't ignore it. And if you see something, say something. Don't sit in that pocket, because that's respect as well. Because if that's your friend, y'all have these type of conversations all the time. And I think a closed mouth don't get fed. Some people, they sit around in their feelings and then they going home, they having nightmares about that. Nah, let's address this. And if it's not, it's not. But if it is, I want you to know I know and I see what's really going on. So honesty is the best policy. Don't hold yours. Protect your household. Protect your feeling. Protect your feelings, but protect your marriage as well. So I just kind of feel like you stand for something. I say this a million times all the time, Ash, or stand for something. I ain't going for it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I could
And
be wrong, but I'm going to address it because that right there, that's my lifer.
yeah. And to Kashana's point, Kashana mentions that she's not mature enough, and I'm assuming you're not mature enough for what I said, Kashana. um, one, a motherfucker don't even live in the same state, so we good. That's the first thing. The other thing is that it create. I think that's a good point for us about not being mature enough in marriage and relationships when it comes to a person of the opposite sex that may have had an attraction towards your spouse at one particular time. Me personally, the reason why I say that I am okay with that situation is because clearly he is not interested. I don't think you would be dumb enough to tell me, you know what I mean, that this person had an attraction towards you with all this shit. You'd be stupid as hell to tell me that if you was gonna do some fuck shit. I just think that would be a dumbass move.
And if he did tell you some stupid shit like that, react.
Right. Right.
When people show
Right.
you who they are, I've been known to believe their ass. Like, oh, you thought that was funny? That wasn't a joke. You meant something by that. I'm nah. You can't just tell me anything and I just believe nothing. Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on.
I'm gonna just have to, like, on the reverse side of that, play devil's advocate just slightly. Just slightly. And that's
Wait a minute.
what I'm
Wait a minute.
saying is
Before
that
you
is
do,
that we doing all this concern about where the friends are. But if someone wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat whether it's around your friends or not.
you're
Facts.
absolutely
Someone
correct.
wants to cheat, they're going to cheat in all the opportunities they have outside the house. So
Facts.
it's also about trusting your spouse to a degree.
To a
It,
degree.
Don't
we
be no
we
motherfucking
like there's
fool though.
ain't nobody say be boo boo the
Don't be
fool. Ain't
stupid.
nobody say be boo boo the fool. But if you know that you have a spouse that's got your back for real, all of that is mute
Yeah,
because
because a real spouse
they've
gonna tell
already,
you.
your
Like
spouse is gonna tell
they gonna
you,
tell you, like,
hey,
yo, your girl was
hey,
trying to,
hey,
you know what I'm
she
saying?
was
Like, what's really
trying.
going on? I done had a friend. This is a real situation. I'm not gonna name no names, but I had a friend I was friends with, and man, her husband kind of, you know what I'm saying? He kind of, you know what I'm saying, made me feel uncomfortable. And I'm for black love, right? I want people to stay in their relationships. I believe that every relationship goes through something and you don't always have to dismiss that marriage. You can kind of work through it. So I'm sitting in this pocket like, do I say something? Do I say something or do I say nothing? Now I'm going to kind of flip this conversation before we get into Black Love Elevated After Dark. I have a friend. Her husband done tried me. Do I say something? Do you say something to your spouse? And on the flip side, do you say something to your friend? Well, me personally, I told this friend. I told this friend, and I told this friend out of good spirits, like, look, sis, I want you to be able to, maybe it meant nothing, maybe it meant something, but I'm not coming from a place to try to break up your home. But this made me feel uncomfortable because now I'm really not gonna be around y'all like that. And I want you to know why. And maybe you can address this, maybe you can save this. I am here to say that that marriage is still going on. That marriage is strong. They did talk about it. It was an uncomfortable situation in the beginning, but the truth will set you free if you're a real friend. So now you got to understand, do you have a real friend or has your friend's loyalty expired on you and you holding it down 10 toes deep, loyal by default? It's a lot of different variations to this. Oh, hold on. A comment then came through. Miss Walker says, 28 years in, I can look at my husband and he'll know when to move around and shut it down. Oh, wait a minute. Like, you know how you give that look like, all right, we're doing too much time for you to let's move it up. Let's move it around. I feel you on that, Moan. Like, y'all have the right energies. Y'all feel when things is not going right. That's what I'm saying. You got to be open and you got to have that relationship where he's protecting you as well. He's not trying to keep things from you, and you got to trust your spouse. It's not always the fugazi. Hold on. Josh says, I want to read some of these comments. Hell, you better say something before I find out that part. They'll trust you more. Like, I'm not trying to hold nothing back. Like, this situation happened. Let me let you know what's going on. Because what happens when your spouse finds out that some BS was going on and you didn't disclose that information, even though they trusted you? Now you got some distrust because you didn't disclose certain information that he may have felt privileged to.
Trish, you can go ahead and answer.
Me, I'm big on loyalty in general. Like, I could, I would prefer to be loyal to who I'm with
Mm-hmm.
and prefer to be honest with my friend than to keep the friend. You gonna decide that you're gonna be friends or you're not. I'm big on small circle. It's probably gonna be about 3 people carrying me out when I leave here. Ashley is one of
Mm-hmm.
them. Right? I mean, about three
Facts.
people carrying that casket.
Facts.
I'm big on small circles because I prefer loyalty than big numbers. I don't need big numbers. I don't need anybody to validate me. Um, So I'm gonna tell. If she decides to still be my friend afterwards, she decides to still be my friend afterwards. If she decides to take up for the behavior instead of looking into what's going on there, the way your friend did, then it's okay with me. But at the very least, I was honest. I told my truth. I'm not gonna hold on to that information at all.
All right, so Ash, let's sum this up. We put the question out there: can married people have single friends? I think we had a lot of points, a lot of views, a lot of different perspectives, and that's what this podcast is all about. So, how would you sum this up to the audience to answer that for them on all platforms? I want you to close us out and then take us into Black Love Elevated After Dark.
Oh goodness, you don't have to carry me. All right, so for me, I think this is just it. Your relationship doesn't really define your entire identity, right? So you are an individual at the end of the day, but your spouse comfortability level should matter, right? So, like, healthy love requires balance from both you and your spouse. So, being your own person while making decisions that protect your trust, peace, and respect. That is how you build together at the end of the day.
Well, I agree with you. It's all about boundaries. It's all about communications. It's all about setting crystal clear expectations as to
Mm.
what's supposed to happen and what should not happen, and trusting one another enough to understand how they feel. So, however, this lies in your household, in your relationship, in your marriage, make it make sense. See the writing on the wall, read the room, and if you see something, say something and be open and honest with your spouse because communication is key. So,
Let's
now that
go.
we have touched on that hot topic, I would like to turn it over to you, Miss Ashley, for you to let the viewers know what time it is because we're going to spend just a couple of minutes and we're going to switch this thing around because all love deserves a different side of things. And that side that we're talking about is Black Love Elevated After Dark. So, Ashley, take it away.
Ooh,
Please talk
Lord
to them.
have
Tell them.
mercy. Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. Okay. If you are not interested in talking about anything that is raunchy, sexual, or you have an issue with that, I advise you to log off right now because we are about to jump into Black Love Elevated After Dark. Thank y'all so much for joining, but stick around. Stick around.
Yeah, knock
And
on the wall.
Eb.
Yes.
So
Yes, ma'am.
I had been thinking about this for a while, and I think
Mhm.
someone mentioned it earlier, and I think it's time for us to have a little conversation in regards to open relationships. Woo,
Mm.
woo, woo.
Open relationships.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the question on the table, ladies, is when it comes to marriage, single, or in a relationship, how do you feel about having an open relationship with your spouse? And when we say open relationships, we can be talking about sexually as well. Meaning you do what you do, he can do what he do. How do you ladies feel about that? Especially if, and it's not really pertaining to you. I'm just saying if you weren't
Mhm.
being satisfied or if you there are several things going on that are preventing you from having your full happiness within your relationship. Would you be open to an open relationship?
Ooh. Can we get some help from the audience? Can y'all set this thing off? Can y'all drop some comments so that we can kind of talk about it based off your comments? Like, what do you feel about this? Come on. Hold on. Can we drop some of these comments? Let me see what's happening here. Ashley said,
That's
what are
Shannon.
your thoughts on an open relationship? Like, what are your thoughts on an open relationship? And we're talking about sexually or whatever. Like, all right, we know that home front is home front, but you're free to do what you do. I'm free to do what I do. Let's get the first comment. The first comment is already posted. I'm trying to open this up so I can read this thing here. The first comment is mine is
Mine is
open.
mm-hmm.
That same door you came in is still open. So that means Miss Nicole said, ain't no damn open relationship. If We got to have an open relationship. Walk your ass on out the damn door because ain't nothing going down in here but me. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ash, can you see that? Can you read Miss Walker's comment?
Uh-huh. She said, no, thank you. I'm not into sharing shit and shit. If you got time for open, he needs to make sure I'm hollering every time and drooling. Okay, yeah. So basically what she's saying is if
Hmm.
you got time to have an open relationship, you better be knocking me through the wall, motherfucker. What if you not, but Miss Walker, what if he's not able to satisfy you though? That's the thing though. What if he isn't? What about from your perspective as a woman too? Right? If your
Yeah.
man, you love him, you still love your man, you still love your woman, but they not meeting your need. Trisha, you quiet.
Why I gotta go first? Because Ebony sidestepped to go first to go into the comments, and why it's always gotta be me. Okay, you know what? Here we go.
Okay.
As far as me as the big grown adult that I am today, I would never. Like, it's not my preference. I'm thirsty. And I want to be able to do that with the one person that's it. Don't have to worry about none of those other extras or whatever the case may be. Young me was unknowingly, well, my decision in an open relationship for 8 years.
In an open relationship for 8 years where
He
y'all
didn't
both
know it was
agreed
open.
on this. Oh, he didn't know it was fucking open.
I knew it was open. But
Mm,
that was because he
mm.
was already cheating. So if you doing you, I'm doing me. We clearly in an open relationship. You just don't think we in an open relationship because
Yeah.
you think I'm sitting here holding it down.
There ain't no
But I
damn
think
open
Ashley,
relationship.
yeah, that's not an open relationship.
It is.
That's your ass
It is.
just fucking
Goddamn
It was
open.
cheating.
open.
Let's keep it a
It
buck.
was
You
open.
just fucking
He didn't
cheating.
know it
That
was
is not an
open.
open
It was
relationship.
open.
That's almost
It
like the
was open.
polygamist. We need to have an understanding. Okay, we on the same page that you're gonna go be with Julie on this day. You're gonna be with Sally on this day, and then you're gonna be with me on this day, and everybody knows it. And they say, okay, well, how did you have fun with Julie? Okay, nah. Open relationship. Now, Josh says y'all all might as well just have a threesome.
What y'all
Mm.
Okay.
think? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel I feel like when you are saying a threesome, that means that that person is able to satisfy that person. And my initial
And
question,
another
what?
person.
Right? You can't do that in no three.
You
Y'all
can't.
missing a point. If I'm unsatisfied in my relationship, right? That means that I'm opening it because you can't meet it. So now I'm gonna bring somebody else in.
And now you're
And
not
you
gonna
gonna
please neither
disappoint
one of
both
So
our
of
then you
us.
gonna
asses.
disappoint both of us.
The fuck? And then I'm gonna be embarrassed because you didn't put on the damn show. Like, damn, I done
You
stuck
got
around all
11
these
minutes
damn
of
years
dick,
and
and
you
now
ain't
I
putting
gotta
it
swing
down.
it 6, 7.
Like, come on. Sex is a big part of the relationship. Now,
Right.
listen to me. Sex is a big part of the relationship. So it's two men, women. What did Shannon say?
So it's
So
two
it's
men
two men
open.
open. It's two men.
That's like polygamy, unless you're saying, like,
So
let me
wait.
be
So
quiet.
is she saying we
Man,
can have an
exactly.
open
Like, what are we
relationship and
talking
it can
about?
be multiple? It ain't gotta just be one person. I can be with multiple because you said open. Is that what you saying,
open,
Shannon?
open. Remember, guys, open means that the spouse knows, the other spouse knows. All right. That means that he's cool or she is cool with you dipping out because I'm not able to satisfy you in a certain way or whatever. So two men,
But no, I think you're kind of you're we in After Dark, right?
yeah,
I
we
feel
good.
like
We
I feel
good.
like you kind of sort of mixing up open and cuck. Cause it's sounding real cuckish over there. That sounding cuckoldish
Well,
because
explain
he
that because
can't
I don't
do
know
what
what you
he's
mean.
supposed to do. If your
Okay.
man ain't doing what he's supposed to do and he's perfectly okay with another man being with you, a vast majority of the time, that's more so in a there's more men that are willing to allow you to be with other women than there are other men that are allowing you to be with other men. And a vast majority of that demographic are in a cuckold position because they cannot do. They're not big enough. They don't last long enough. Whatever the case may be, an open relationship means that I'm fully capable of doing what I'm able to do. You're fully capable
Yeah.
of doing what you are able to do. You
Well,
want
Yeah.
something else. I want something
We're
else,
gonna
and
say
we can
that.
both
We're gonna
satisfy those other individuals as well.
let's say open for both sides of the spectrum. I just went for the, the juggler with the men, but it can be on both sides. Maybe she ain't got the best or she ain't got the wet. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying some of them ain't got a waterfall.
Listen,
I don't
listen,
know.
Ash, I'm gonna say what I
You
say.
got a
I
waterfall.
have spoken to a couple, and this is the truth. Truth. The husband was not satisfying the wife. Now, here's the thing: this husband loves this wife so much, he wants her to be satisfied. He brought another man in, but a part of it, there was a compromise. He had to be there to watch, but he wanted his
That's the
wife to
definition of
be
a
satisfied.
couple.
That's still an open relationship, right? They're all agreeing. This man is now banging her down. He knows that. But my whole thing with that, I'm still kind of on the fence with it. I get that situation, but open relationship. I mean, I feel you, Simone. That means the trust will be out the window. Like
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't have got married in the first place, or I should have stayed single. However, things change in marriages. We know that. Maybe he was putting it down while he was younger. Now y'all done been together 25 years and you are not quite satisfied. Guys, we're talking about real life situations. We said we getting into the truth. You've been with this
Mhm.
person. Y'all not happy sexually, but y'all still want to be together. How does that work? Am I supposed to ignore my sexual needs, which is a big part of life? Like, how does that work? What do you do? If I can't have an open relationship, I guess that's where they bring toys in and we need to explore different things. I don't know. I'm looking for some suggestions.
Hmm.
Is
Um,
it okay if once you go through menopause, your man wants somebody else to come in the door? Because it don't always get as wet as it used to be. Like we have to think about it on a full spectrum. Yes, thinking
Hmm.
of it from a male perspective of oh he can't get it up the way he used to, but there are things that are very much so a part of aging. Is
And
that something
goddamn,
that
the
you?
pastor said for better and for worse. So if the wet ain't wet, but what about when the guy can't actually? They're having erectile problems. They can't get it up. Like,
There's
do you
pills.
leave?
that's what I want
There's
to say. Y'all act like it
pills.
ain't, it ain't, it
There's
ain't. We got
pills.
KY, we got pills out here.
We
You
got
can make
stuff
it
to
happen.
do. We got
But
stuff to do.
But
yeah,
Ashley, I see you getting a little frustrated. You like we still jumping ship.
yeah, straight up. Because like if that's the case, like yes, we got the things, but that clearly isn't enough. If you're talking about an open relationship, if somebody has had that discussion, we done went through the KY, we done went through the pills, it still ain't working. Now we both have to have a sit down discussion, and we're like, hey, we gotta open this shit up. You feel me? Like I'm cool with it, you cool with it. And to your point, Ebony, my thing is that when you're talking open, I've never known to open. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought open relationships mean that that's not something that you bring home. And I know a couple too that has said that they've been together for
Hmm.
years. You go do whatever you do, but don't bring shit home and don't let me find out. Would y'all consider that to be an open relationship? Because I do.
I feel like it's every open relationship has its own set of boundaries. You can't put
Yeah,
it in a box. There's
yeah.
so
I
many
agree with you,
different
Trish.
versions of an open relationship that you can't really put it in a specific
Oh,
box.
oh, look what Miss Hill said.
Mister.
The answer is that's Mr. Hill.
Yeah.
The answer is do what you can live with. Hold on. So now, see, because sometimes we
Hmm.
look at things one sided. Okay, so I'm a woman. I'm not satisfied. I want to bring another man in. You do that. However, can you live with your husband now bringing another woman in? How would
Some
that
more
make you
young
feel? See, this
things.
goes both ways. So you really got to open up your mind to it. Now, Shannon gave a kickback and said, baby, at this age and my hot flashes, I'm good over here. So what you good with? You good with not being pleased? What you good with? You good with letting your man go out there and get him a side chick? What are you good with, Shannon? Can you be clear? And I'm not trying to get you to put all your business out on Front Street, but we are discussing and debating this. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, man. This shit is hard because you grow. Sometimes you grow apart, but when y'all trying to keep it together and we trying to compromise versus sacrifice, we talked about that a couple of episodes about ago. It gets difficult, and every situation is different because some people they are open to open relationships, like you said, Trisha, as long as you don't bring that shit home.
Oh
And
wait,
Miss
no, not
Story, I'm sorry. And Miss
no.
Story said that man, what she said? What's that, Ash?
I can't even see it. Can you guys see that?
That is
No.
voyeurism, watching his wife with another man. It's still considered him being a cuckold because he's okay with watching someone else enter his wife while he is in the room. It's on some Diddy shit, but I mean, to each his own. I'm just saying when I think of that, and again with open relationships, it's very difficult to maneuver. There are many men who are okay with their woman being with another woman, but there aren't many very masculine men that are okay with their woman being with another man. I don't think that open relationships work in the type of relationships in which I involve myself in, because I would never be the one to sit here and have to put myself through something that you also couldn't go through. Like that one individual said, do what do whatever it is that you can live with. If a man comes to me with idea of an open relationship, cool. But that means that I have to also be able to be with other guys, because I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm only committing to be with other women, because it hurts. For most people with a heart, it hurts to see their person with another person, because
Absolutely.
you love them so much that there's a deep connection. So I don't feel like it's open if the
It
rules don't
hurt, but your coochie
apply
hurt too
both
because it ain't
ways.
getting pleased.
Oh, oh, listen, it's too
It hurt.
much.
So
It's too
we
much.
need a calm
Ebony,
middle.
Ebony, me and Ashley had this conversation. I can get me off better than anybody else in the world can.
Oh, oh.
I mean, that's
I
a
think
fact.
that's
I
the
think we can.
compromise. I think that's the
It has
compromise.
to
You know,
be some sort of
seriously,
compromise. There's
it's
toys.
a
There's
lot of
stuff to
tools out there.
do.
I don't believe in the open relationship things. I think you
Mhm.
need to bring something into the household to spice it up. I think you need to
Mhm.
work a little bit harder. I think you need to maybe get you some negligees. I think you need to watch you some videos. It's a lot of material out there that's going to help you get there. See, because also another comment just came in. Hold on, my eyes is playing.
I
I
swear.
travel a lot, but baby, when I get home, these eggs getting cracked. I get it. I get it. But you know, sometimes we go through a lot of different things. One more comment. You giving them to me, Ash. You giving them
I
to
know.
me.
I'm trying, child.
Glad I was able finally to tune into the platform. On that note, it's time for me to say good night. Very good insight though,
Thank
and
you for
nice
joining.
conversation. And I think, you know, what's up, Mo? I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate the support and the love. Absolutely. You're married. I'm married. We got a lot of couples out there, and life is not about having a perfect marriage. You got to be able to not weather the storm, but be the storm. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I don't need to go through it. Sometimes you got to go through it to get through it, but sometimes you can do something different. Like when we're talking about this sexual thing, toys, porn, YouTube, get some information. Talk to Chat GPT. That motherfucker may give you some goddamn ideas on something on how you can maybe get it this way or get the lubrication that way. I don't know. I don't think always stepping outside is the best thing because that could lead to um life-threatening situations.
Hmm.
That could lead to life or
True.
death. That could lead to being in front of the judge. That could lead to penitentiary. That can lead to being up here by yourself, which is not a comfortable place to be. You know what I'm saying? You start doing shit and now you having nightmares and you watching your man. How many of you look at your husband? Sometimes you wake up, you just want to slap the fuck out of him, do some shit. Then that may get you in a situation. So I don't know, Ash. That's just my
Yeah.
thoughts on it. You brought this conversation to the table and you ain't really said shit.
I was listening.
Of
I want to
course.
know what you got to say.
I was listening. I was letting y'all get y'all little thing because I knew this was gonna be a hot topic. So I was listening this go round. Miss Hill says there's too many diseases out here. I would be afraid to be with someone else, even if it was okay. Yep.
You're
And
right
then we
about
have
that
another
too.
comment from Mr. Cole. We have to be in tune with our bodies and our spouse's bodies. I really
Yes.
like that comment. I think that that is probably one of the best comments that we had on this entire topic because that is trying to say what happened. Great, stay tuned, stay locked in. But I think that comment is great. We do have to be in tune with our bodies and also our spouse's bodies for sure. And also we had this conversation a few weeks back as far as understanding and listening to your spouse and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what they like and practicing and making it work
Yeah.
for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because again, relationships are not one sided. It is about you and your spouse. So you can work it out, but no hate to anyone in an open relationship. If that's what you do, that is what you do. No judgment over here. But again, like Mr. Cole said, it's really about just learning your spouse and understanding what works for them and what works for you.
And I agree with you, Ash. At the end of the day, as we get ready to close out here, um, if you're in an open relationship, hey, we ain't beating you down. We get it. If that's what works in your household, that's what works. But if you're not with it, and even if your spouse is trying to bring it to you, have that conversation. Let's talk about it. Because a lot of people are with it, a lot of people are not. But what's good for you may not be good for someone else because what they eat don't make you shit. So make your own determination based off your household, but tap into your spouse. Feel what they feeling, understand what they going through, and kind of try to come up with a solution to work it out. I think that's what marriage is all about. Coming together and working it out. Trisha, you got anything final you want to say to everybody?
I just, and on this topic to be specific, I just feel like what longevity looks like is finding different ways to choose your partner every day. And
Hmm.
that doesn't just mean finding ways to choose them emotionally, that means finding ways to choose them sexually. Whether it's trying new things, like you said, getting them to be honest enough to open up to you so that they can tell you the things that they may be afraid to tell you, but they would be a little bit more comfortable telling somebody who they don't hold as high on a pedestal. So find ways to choose your person.
And I love this comment that you just put up there, Ash, for Miss Hill. Also, I feel like if men put their woman first or put that man first,
I think
they
she's
will be
frozen.
turned on to do all kinds of things in the bedroom. Don't close it off. Don't close
Hmm.
it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, be open and try different things. Life is about exploring things. The only thing permanent in life is change.
Hmm.
Change it up.
Yep.
Put some spice in that relationship. Take that granny nightgown off, darling, and do something different. And just in closing, just to drop some of these comments that Ash is putting out there, we appreciate all the support, Miss Shannon. I love you, sister, so much. I appreciate you tapping in. Her final comment here says, "You have to really think about when you are making love. Are you doing it? Are you doing it because we didn't do it yesterday, or does your spouse really turn you on and set the atmosphere? Your bedroom is not a battleground. Whew.
Love it.
Put some work
Love
in,
it.
y'all. Come on.
Love
Take them
it.
extra steps. Do something a little different. It ain't all about having 12 inches and knocking a woman down. That's not always pleasure, my dear. That foreplay, putting in that work, that will send that little thing spiraling out of control. I'm telling you, and Ashley done draw y'all a picture the last time. She said, this little thing right here, the thing in the middle, work on that. You don't have to know it all. You just got to do a little something. Know your spouse and their body and tap into it. That's
Big
my advice.
fact. Big fact. Big fact. And we gotta go with the last comment here. Bring that freak out. I'm not mad
Come
at
on,
it, Mr. Hill.
come on.
Thank you very much, y'all. Hey, y'all, we have been on for an hour and 23 minutes. Once again, we have done it, ladies. We've done it.
Yes,
So I think we need to wrap it up.
I think we do. And I want to, my final words will say for better or for worse. That's what I'm talking about, for better or for worse. So tap into your spouse, keep that communication open, and be open into listening to your spouse and feeling what they're feeling so you can tap into it and make it work because it's cheaper to keep them. And
Facts.
love is a great thing. So Ash, take us home.
Facts, facts, facts. So, thank you again, Miss Trisha, for joining us once again for a wonderful podcast episode. And we want to thank the audience for being so active tonight. My God,
Yes.
I can't even see, child. I can't wait till my glasses come in. So I can read. But no,
Yes.
we really appreciate you guys being really, really active tonight and really participating and learning more about who we are as a group, what we do, and how much fun we have on our podcast. So, with that being said, make sure that you are following us on all of our social medias, including TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X as well. We are currently in the middle of finishing up the Black Love Elevated website.
Oh
So
yeah.
that will be live in a couple weeks here. Yes, that is on its way. And we have a lot of different things coming. We will be back next Monday for another episode. We will be discussing that topic here pretty soon. But it's going to be just as juicy as this one was, okay? So,
Yes.
outside of that, have a wonderful evening. Again, thank y'all for joining us. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Y'all.